Alrighty, here we go. Hold up. Here. Here we go. Friday Scary Stories, episode number 3. We skipped a week. It's okay, okay? Because, like, it builds up the fear, and then the fear becomes more fear. You feel me? Alright, episode 3. 5 true creepy horror stories anime. We're going to try and get through all 5. If we don't, we don't. But we're still going to try.
I was spending the weekend cozying up inside,
Who
as
is
it was
this
the
lady,
end of
bruh?
winter, and these were the last few days of cold before it was supposed to start heating up.
Okay.
This night, it was rainy and cold, so
Okay.
I had nothing better to do than watch some movies and relax. But it was sometime
Why is a man
not too long
talking for the
after
woman?
dinner
You see, that just
there was a
throws off
knock at the
everything,
door.
bro.
I got up and walked over, but looking out the peephole, I didn't recognize the man.
Oh, see, that's...
He was wearing some...
This is where we start rebuking the demons, because I don't do this. Normally I don't, you know, it's not really good to be seeing these type of creatures and before bed and amen, bro. I don't know what this is, but
some brown jacket and a beanie, and he was holding a snow shovel. Seeing as there wasn't any snow on the ground, I didn't understand what he was here for. I cracked the door just an inch and asked what
that's
he
the
wanted.
first mistake.
It took all but 5 seconds of listening to him to know he was up to no good. He stumbled over his words and was trying to tell me a whole story about how he was just a friendly guy looking for any jobs to do in my yard. Something felt off about it.
Duh.
Unnatural.
Yeah,
So I said
why?
no thanks
Like, bro.
and started shutting the door, but the guy quickly put his hand on it. For a second, he just stared at me, keeping the door open, before he let go. I shut and locked it, and after processing what happened, I looked back out the window. He walked down to the sidewalk and disappeared in the rainy fog. I watched for another minute to make sure he'd actually left for good. Then I went back to my movie. The guy was definitely sketchy, but I didn't think he would come back or anything, and would probably just go on to the next house.
Bro, I'm calling the
truth
cops.
is, behind
Although I knew I was probably too tired to finish it. My eyes were drifting in and out, but randomly, there was a thump above me that shook me awake. It was just
How
one
was he?
thump.
Yo,
It was kind of hard to
what?
tell how loud it
The
actually
dude just
was
gained high
with
ground,
the
bro.
rain outside. But what was odd about it was that it was definitely from above me. I got up and walked
Jeez.
upstairs, looking for anything fallen over, or even a leak in the ceiling that might have made the house settle a bit. However, I found nothing. It could have been one of the gutters clicking out of place.
So
from
how do we
heavy
tell her
rain,
she's dead, child?
or really anything else. So I ignored it. I went back downstairs, and being more awake now, I decided to finish the rest of the movie. By the time I'd finished it and was ready to go to
What
bed,
type of
it was
lame
nearly
movie, bro?
12 a.m. I shut off the TV and went around turning off all the lights downstairs. But as I was walking upstairs to go to bed, I could very quickly feel the temperature drop as I got closer to the top of the steps. Maybe I was too tired to give it much thought, but when I got upstairs and started closing each of the doors that I'd opened earlier, I noticed something from the corner of one of the rooms. The window was cracked open. I must have stared at it for a whole 10 seconds, thinking how impossible that was, and just being extremely confused. I walked over and looked at it closer. It was one of the windows that had a
Okay,
small
he's
roof
inside the
overhang
house.
under it. And
He's
before
inside
I
the house,
closed
bro.
it, I barely could see an
Oh,
imprint on
my.
the windowsill of what looked like a shoe. I could feel the blood rush from my face as I turned around and just listened for a moment. The low creaking of the house, combined with the rain speckling the roof, only made me more unnerved, knowing someone was in my house right now. I began slowly walking, as quietly as I could, back into the hallway. All the other doors were still open, making me feel like someone's eyes could be watching me right now through one of the doorways.
Really?
I was able to make it downstairs, though, From there, I
Why
got
are
my
we not
phone
running?
and hid in the garage, calling 911.
Not a bad
It
decision.
took 5
If it was me,
minutes
I'd
for the
personally.
first officer to arrive.
Okay, police are on the scene. Let's
I
go.
heard nothing but the rain during that time.
Oh, they gonna be like, we couldn't
Once I
find
let
him.
the officer in, I waited on my porch as he searched the home. About 2 minutes later, I heard him call out upstairs, and then he came down, holding a guy in handcuffs. I quickly recognized him as the man who showed up on my doorstep earlier in the night, and he had a terrible look of anger as he passed by me and was thrown
Police
in the car.
got balls of steel. I would never
Putting
do
all
that.
the pieces together, the guy had climbed up onto my roof, which was likely the cause of the thump I heard hours ago.
Okay, I'm not liking
Then
this
he got
story,
in
bro.
through
It's
the second-story
unrealistic.
window, which I never had thought to even lock. Most disturbing, though, is that the officer said he was hiding in the master bedroom, which I was literally 30 seconds from entering, and maybe even falling asleep, without any idea he was in there. The guy even took his shoes off after climbing in the window to not let his shoe prints show on the carpet. So the fact that I saw the tiny imprint on the windowsill is a miracle. With him going directly to my bedroom, his intentions
He was definitely
were
gonna.
clearly malicious.
He was definitely gonna.
Thankfully, the judge agreed.
Her, bro.
It's only been a few months since, but I still have sleepless nights.
Move
where I
out,
can't help
like,
but
bro,
feel
move
like
out
someone is
after that.
hiding inside my home in the middle of the night.
Probably is, bro. First story I actually didn't even like, for real, bro. Like, I'm gonna just be honest. I'm gonna give that like my lowest I think I've ever gave it. Like, I'm gonna give that like a out of 10. I'm gonna give that like a 6.5. Like, I don't know, bro.
A couple years ago, I applied for a temporary job at a local gas station. I was planning to move in 6 months, so I couldn't get anything too permanent, but I still needed to make some cash beforehand. This job paid well, enough to convince me to work the job opening they had for the overnight shift.
You died.
I would just stay by the register.
The second you
and
accepted that
occasionally
money.
do regular maintenance work. This was during my 4th month working there. At some point during this time, I became familiar with a customer that came in pretty frequently. Almost every night, around 1 or 2 a.m., this guy would walk in and buy random different things.
Okay, this guy isn't scary.
Sometimes it was household items, or food, or tools.
That's okay, bro. That's
I always
okay.
thought it was weird, because he'd come in every night to buy a couple things that would be way cheaper and easier to get at any regular grocery store. He didn't talk
What?
much either. All I knew was that his
14
name was
bucks
Dave,
for
and
toothpaste,
he
bro.
drove an old red Chevy sedan.
That's a fire car.
He looked like he was maybe 40 to 45 years old. Anyway, one night at the usual 1 a.m. time, Dave pulled into the gas station. No other customers were here.
Why is it
was
open
just
like
me
that?
sitting in the corner, waiting out the time. When Dave walked in, though, there was something different about him. He was dripping in sweat, and he was rushing through the aisles, searching for something specific. When he finally found what he was looking for, he hurried up to the counter and tossed it down for me to ring up. It was a master lock, like one for locking up a bicycle. I really didn't feel like it was appropriate for me to question him, but with the guy sweating and being in a rush, I just felt a little off about this. It's good to see you again, Dave. You just get a new bike?
Hold up. Wait. We're not asking the right questions. How does he know this guy's name? What? Dave. Dave. It's been good knowing you, Dave. Like, that's weird, bruh. Tell me that's not weird.
Just in a friendly manner, hoping it would come off as just casual conversation. He didn't even look at me. Instead, he fumbled around for his wallet and started yanking out cash in a hurry.
Just leave the guy alone,
At
bro.
that,
As long
I
as he's
just
not.
rang him up, then
Yeah,
watched
facts,
him
bro.
rush into his car and pull away.
As long as he's not affecting
Something
you,
was
bro.
definitely
Let the guy
weird.
go, bro.
But hey, maybe he just got a new bicycle and had been riding it around for a couple hours and needed to get back to wherever he parked it so he could lock it up before it was stolen.
Yeah, right.
Maybe that's a stretch, but it was the best I could come up with.
You gotta come up
The
with
rest
more,
of the
brother.
night passed by, and so did several more days. I didn't see him for almost
What was
a
this
whole
mean?
week, which was odd considering he usually came in every night. It wasn't until my Wednesday shift that I saw him again. It was drizzling outside.
He's definitely
so
like
the
coming
first
in with
several
blood
hours
over him,
went
bro.
by really slow. I was leaning back in my chair and looking out the window at the rain coming down when his red car pulled into the parking lot. As soon as he parked, he got out and rushed inside. I greeted him as he entered, but he ignored me.
Yo, he does
He
not
hurried
like
through
you.
the aisles and was talking under his breath. I couldn't hear what he was saying, but he sounded frustrated, and I got really uncomfortable, like my gut was telling me something was wrong. Then I heard a thud. My eyes shifted to the window, looking at the direction it came from, and the only thing there was Dave's car.
Huh? Okay, this is
It was a
getting
loud
good.
thud, too, like someone kicking the inside of the door. After a second, I looked back at Dave.
This is a crazy frame, brother. You are chopped. This is a crazy frame. Oh my goodness. Lord have mercy. Bro, this is a crazy frame, bro. This is scaring me more than the story itself, bro. Please, I don't know what you got going on, bro. You got like a compressed chin with a small. The ears are like about to fall off, bro. Yo, I don't know, but I'm scared too, bro. Please
Dave.
cut the scene out
He
next time,
wasn't
bro.
rushing anymore.
Oh, bro,
He was
these
standing in the aisle,
these animations
staring
are
directly
questionable.
at me, as if I'd just discovered something that I shouldn't have. There was another thud, but my eyes were fixed on Dave as I could feel panic rushing through my body. Then he quickly looked away and hurried out the door. I was still stunned, but managed to get my phone out and snap a picture of his license plate as he drove away.
What type of
I called the police immediately. That night felt extremely long as I waited for any updates from them, and it wasn't until I got home around 6 a.m. that I received a call from the police. They found the guy from the license plate I gave them, and they found a woman that he had kidnapped. Apparently, he had just moved into a new small cabin on the edge of town less than a week ago, and he had no registered prior address, so they had no way to know what he'd been up to before this incident. Luckily, they saved this woman before she was harmed, though. Also, it turned out Dave wasn't his real name, which isn't surprising, but at least he's locked up for good now.
Yeah, that man was crazy, bro. I like the way like it wasn't rushed. Like here's how the other stories go. It's like the guy comes in, he sees the girl, he goes upstairs, she dies. Like you feel me? Like I like how it was calm. It was a good ending. It was a good story. I would give it like an 8 out of 10. We gonna move on to the next one. We doing one more, bro. One more story, and then we gonna hop on Sparking Zero, baby, first time.
My parents' anniversary happened to be during this week, so they went on a date night a few hours north and were staying in a
Finally,
hotel.
a black man I can relate.
Having the house to myself for once, I invited one of my friends, Justin, to stay the night. He brought a ton of snacks and sodas, which were
That's
set
the
up on the
first
table in
mistake.
the basement, and fired up the PlayStation. We had the speakers up pretty loud, and were gaming down there for 3 hours straight. Eventually, though, Justin went upstairs to get a glass of water, and when he came back down, he looked worried. I asked what was up, and he said there
At
was
least we got
someone
2
outside
people
the
this time.
house. By the kitchen, we had a large...
Yo, that's scary. Oh no. Oh no, I will pass out. Oh no. Oh brother, no. Please, no. That's actually scary. Whew.
sliding glass door.
What the?
And I guess he saw a person standing in
And
our
you just
backyard.
come down getting ready to play brother. 911. Okay, that's how you get out of these situations, bro. I don't know what's with you guys thinks you're like undefeated and I don't know, bro. Who I'm sweating just thinking about it. Y'all gotta call the cops, bro. Y'all gotta call the cops, bro.
I thought he was trying to play a joke on me, but he was serious. We both went back upstairs and into the kitchen, and at first look, it didn't look like anyone was in the backyard. But then we noticed that there were some smudges on the outside of the door that looked like someone might have been leaning on the glass and looking inside.
Yeah, he started sweating.
That's
real
obviously
quick.
really creepy.
What type
so I
of
shut the blinds
underground
and
chamber?
did a quick perimeter check around the other windows. We didn't see anything else, so we figured we were all good. Again, we were both just kids and didn't really know how to handle something like this. After a couple
So
minutes,
you left the
we
window
went back
open, brother?
downstairs and continued where we left off. Another couple hours went by, and it had to be well into the night, like 2 or 3 a.m. Justin was getting tired, so we wrapped up our last match and turned off the PlayStation. The basement had 2 small couches, so we each took one and laid out some blankets, then turned off the lights and called it a night. For some reason, I had trouble falling asleep. Like I would fall asleep for a few minutes and then wake right back up.
Yo, what
over
the?
and over. I don't know why, possibly from too much caffeine, but it went on for a really long time. It felt like over an hour. But then, one of these times that I woke up, something was different. I opened my eyes. It was pitch black.
You want me to tell you guys something, bro? This is why you don't stay up past 1 o'clock. Like, I don't stay up past 1 o'clock, bro. Like, for example, the last time I stayed up past 1 was probably like a year, 2 years ago. I don't stay up that late. I'm literally in bed, asleep at like 11 on school days and like 12 on any other day. I'm telling you, bro. You gotta start sleeping early, bro. Like, the scary part of the night is around like 2 to 3, but when it gets to 4 and this time, that's when it starts like getting cool, though. Like, that's not the reason personally. I mean, like, sheesh, but like, bro, I just don't like staying up, bro. Like, real stuff. I just feel like, I don't know. I like sleeping, bro. I'm a sleepy type of guy.
But there was a tiny streak of light across the other end of the room. I sat up a bit and could tell it was coming from the door above the staircase. I looked over at the other couch, and Justin was still there, sound asleep. Did
now
he
it's
get
your
up at some
turn to
point
experience
get more
that
water?
figure.
There's no way I wouldn't have noticed. I got up, feeling too uneasy to sleep without making sure this was nothing. I went over to the bottom of the stairs and looked up. The door was cracked open, but not enough to see through.
Oh, man.
I went to the top and
Good
opened
gracious.
it further. The hallway light was on, and so was the kitchen light.
Did you not turn it off?
It was about then that I remembered about that man that Justin said was standing outside the house, and I walked over to the kitchen to look out the back door. The backyard was empty, and nobody was out there from what I could see.
That window, bro.
As I was about to look away,
He's
though,
upstairs, bro.
something moved across the reflection on the glass.
That's it. That's it. You're done, bro.
Door.
Just pray.
I
Like, you gotta
spun
actually
around,
start praying, bro.
looking behind me and staring down the hall. Whatever I just saw had quickly moved across the other end of the hallway. I didn't know what to do. I just stood for a second before sprinting back into the basement.
Bad decision to lock yourself underground.
After a quick explanation, he was just as terrified as I was. We hid in one of the closets down there and called the police. And while we were waiting, we could hear someone moving around upstairs. It was like they were running around the house, looking for something. It got quiet after a few minutes, though, and when police showed up, the person was gone. They found that the small bolt that locked the back door was snapped off, so that's how they got in. Other than that,
Okay, did you find the
we
person?
don't know anything.
Oh, no.
For several years after this incident, though, every few months, we would find those same smudges on the back door of someone clearly looking inside. It wasn't until we finally got a security camera that they left us alone, at least as far as we can tell. It's been over a year since we've seen any signs of them. What they wanted is still unknown.
You know what would this is how you know I have like a good movie mind. You know what would have been a good scene right there? Lightning flashing and showed his face and boom. Okay, sorry guys, I just want to say that. I gotta conclude that. I didn't conclude the story. Yo, I like that story. If I'm being fair, it was actually a good story. Okay, it didn't have an ending. It still went on. So I'm gonna give it like a 9 out of 10. Okay, this week was alright. I mean, like, it was alright. Okay, it was an alright week. Yeah, we'll skip next week again.